given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed.
Greetings and bienvenue. Today we're going to be looking at the similarities and comparisons of both Spider-Man and Batman based on their characters and their powers combination. Now, the list that I have might not be like spot on, but this is just my opinion, so let's get into the video. So now, the first one we have is Venom and Solomon Grundy. Now, with this one, I personally ran out of characters. Batman doesn't have many other characters, and everybody wants to push Bane as compared to the Venom, but I don't really see it, so I just choose the closest one when it comes to the whole like monster theme thing, and I just choose something. Next up we have Electrocutioner and Shotgun. Both of these guys are, like I said, these guys are similar. Like I said, I ran out of characters. There's a lot of other characters I haven't liked. These two just, to me, are feeling more similar. Their powers is not similar. One does electricity, one does vibrations. I guess you can consider that there are similarities in their personalities. They're both arrogant, I guess, but I just put them to a side. Like I said, I ran out of characters. Next up we have Catwoman and Black Cat. The similarity in these two are pretty self-explanatory, from the name, from the characters, to down to their power. Well, even though one of them has a luck power, but besides the point, the whole cat team pretty is a similarity. They're both love interests for the main characters. They both are thieves. They're both very skilled in combat. They both have cat powers, and they both their whole character is a copycat. A lot of people are copycats. These are one. Okay, so up next we have Chameleon and Hush. These two are similar when it comes to being cunning, when it comes to being the master of disguises, the master manipulator, and just overall just being the master, to be the background character, the one that's be pulling the strings, and so on and so forth. These guys are very well with their characters. Okay, so next up we have Dr. Octopus and the Riddler. Now, obviously the comparison is not their power or their skill set, it's their intelligence. Being the second, if not the first, most intelligent villains in their rogue gallery is deemed to be a comparison within their own right. That's just it. The next one is Lizard and Killer Croc. Once again, another similar character based on just their appearance. They're both reptiles. They both pretty much have reptile powers. They both can regenerate. They got superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability. They both have everything. That's pretty much it. There's nothing really much about it. Okay, so next up we have the Mad Hatter and Mysterio. These two are similar within their power sets, both using technologies for illusion casting and just overall tricking each other's opponents, and just overall just very tricky, very cunning opponents for the main characters themselves. Alright, next up we have Zeus and Electro. Similarity is pretty obvious. They both have electricity powers. They both have electricity manipulation. Well, one of them have electric powers while the other has technology for electricity. But besides the point, both of them are electricity based characters, so that's pretty much it. Alright, so next up we have Victor Sans and the Sin Eater. These two are similar within their goals in life, pretty much killing anybody that's necessary or just doesn't seem to deserve life whatsoever. Victor kills people for a purpose, as do Sin Eater. That's pretty much it. Power wise, they don't have powers. They're just regular ass people who want to kill people for a purpose. Next up we have Hydra Man and Mr. Freeze. There is really no similarity because one is ice and one is water, but just on a deeper level of the fact that ice is pretty much a solid form of water and water is just a liquid form of ice. Just basically I just ran out of characters, like I said. I don't have that much to say. Alright, so next up we have Man-Bat and Doppelganger, or Man-Spider, which whenever you want to say. The similarity within them is pretty obvious. They're pretty much the mutated version of the main character, both Batman and Spider-Man. Basically, Doppelganger has spider powers, it's just freakish, and Man-Bat has bad power. It's just freakish. Nothing really else. That's all it is. Pretty much just an animalistic version of the main characters. Next up we have the Penguin and Hammerhead. These two are similar in being mob boss, you know, they do business. Their powers are not the same, just being criminals in business. Yeah, that's literally about it. Like I just ran out of characters right now. So next up we have Vulture and Firefly. And honestly, the only comparison that I have for them is that they can fly. Not even joking. Like power wise they're different. They're both just flying type villains. And I'm just prolonging, so let's just get to the next one. Alright, next up we have the Talent and the Prowler. Now these two are similar in their skill, their fighting skills, and just being assigned assassins for the main characters, both Batman and Spider-Man. Both are very skilled, both are very good in weapons, very skilled in combat, and they both... And this is just a very good comparison, very good similarity. Alright, so up next is Clayface and Sandman. Just like with Lizard and Crocodile, these two were born given copycats with each other between the Batman and the Spider-Man villain set. These have very good similarities within their power set, even though one is mud and one is sand. But like I said, they're copycats, just like with Lizard and Killer Croc. Okay, so here we have another comparison between the Great White Shark and the Jackal. These are two characters I don't know as much. I just put them together because I look up their stats and they just have physical abilities and that's it. That's all it is. These two, I have no real database between them. I just smashed them up together. Literally just comparing. So next up we have Dracula and Morbius. They're both vampires, they both have undead abilities, supernatural abilities. They both pretty cool looking and just overall similar. Like there's nothing else really, they're just similar within the fact that they're vampires. Okay, so here we have Lady Shiva and Silver Sable as my next comparison. These two are equal when it comes to skills, fighting skills, training, mastery of weaponry, and just overall just being badass. Nothing really. They don't have powers, so they're just similar in skill. Alright, so Copperhead and Scorpion are my next two. Just two guys in a suit of armor, have poison stuff, just the badass criminals, I guess. Like that's pretty much it. Like they're two criminals inside a suit that shoots poison. Poison is one of their biggest type of ability. That's it. Alright, next up we have Beetle and Killer Moth. Honestly, the real reason I put them in comparison is because their suit looks similar. Like their power can be very different. They got flying powers, cool, but that's it. Yeah, flying powers and their suit looks similar. I got the similar color design, almost similar mask. That's it. That's literally it. Alright, so Tombface and oh my god, I said Tombface. Tombstone and Two-Face both are businessmen. They both have high business rankings, I guess, and their power set is obviously not the same. They're just completely similar business-wise. That's all it really is. Okay, so here comes one of my two favorite characters and one of my few favorite comparisons, which would be Kraven the Hunter and Deathstroke. These two are completely comparison-wise. They both have skill. They both are very good with equipment, and they both once has killed the main characters or come close to killing one of the main characters. And to me, they're just very cool. They're very cool for what they are. Alright, so next up we have Bane and Rhino. These two are comparison based on just their strength, and honestly just their strength alone. Power wise is just strength. Feats are strength. Everything. Well, except for Bane. Bane is smarter, and I kind of like Bane too. So, but still, it's just pure strength. Nothing more. Raw. Might makes right. Just all that. Next up, we have Nightwing or Dick Grayson and Miles Morales. These two, a comparison, just being the proteges of the main characters, the one that's supposed to step up if the two main characters are supposed to fall off. Two of the most badass sidekicks you can ever see. And yeah, that's it. Alright, so for my second to last comparison, we have Scarecrow and Hobgoblin. These two are similar based because the last one are okay, like I can't get into detail of how similar these guys are, because based on this I'm just gonna say that these two just look like the more similar, and these guys are just similar to my final characters, and I'll get into more in depth with them sooner or later. So yeah, like stay tuned. And last but not least, we have two of the most similar characters based on their reputation, based on how crazy these guys are, based on just overall them being the best villains within their rogue gallery. I'm talking about Joker and Green Goblin. Now, when it comes to the similarity between them and the second to last one, I don't know. When I see Hobgoblin and Goblin, it's pretty much the same. They look the same, they have the same technology, all of that. And when it comes to Joker and Scarecrow, they both are crazy in their own right. They both have, within their rogue gallery, have the best toxins. Well, they're the only one that has the only toxins. So that's why I kind of compare Hobgoblin and Scarecrow together. Now, when it comes to these two, it's pretty obvious. They're the best villains, the number one villains within their rogue gallery. They're the best. They're the ones that always give the two main characters the hardest time. And overall, they're just the coolest ones. That is it. That is all the Spider-Man and Spider-Man and Batman comparisons. I hope you like it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.